The biggest secret in DC has just been shattered. Is Thomas Wayne alive? And is the Joker Harley Quinn's father? Forget everything you know about Absolute Batman. What Bruce found inside that coffin will keep you up at night.
We've reached issue number 22, with a story by Scott Snyder and art by Weather del Herrera. And we are finally getting the revelation of Harley Quinn's origin, a revelation that connects to absolutely everything in this saga. Before we begin, let's do a quick recap of what's going on in this saga. After an intense fight, Batman managed to escape the Robins. There was an argument between the Robin, Dick Grayson, and his boss, Slade Wilson. Dick didn't agree with all that destruction and halted the attack. We also had former Mayor Gordon's funeral, attended by his daughter, Barbara Gordon, who looks visibly stronger since the last time we saw her, a detail that isn't just for nothing. Bruce's friends are increasingly lost, and the only one trying to keep everyone together is Waylon Jones. Meanwhile, Batman met the Joker for the first time, and it wasn't good at all. The Joker has a larger plan involving Batman, and we are about to see that in action. The first page starts in a very enigmatic way. A child's drawing showing a creature scaring a family inside their house, and this drawing is directly tied to Harley Quinn. 13 years ago, on the outskirts of Gotham, a child hides under the bed and writes a letter to her father, saying she's scared and that her mother doesn't see what she sees. Then the mother appears, calling her daughter by her name, Harley.
Yes, this is the same Harley we see in the present alongside the Red Hood Gang's Batman, and who we've been calling Harley Quinn in these issues of Absolute Batman. Except technically, she isn't Harley Quinn. But as a child, Harley really did live on the outskirts of Gotham. The mother realizes her daughter was writing yet another letter to her dad, and after coaxing her out from under the bed, Harley agrees to try sleeping in her bed again, as long as the light stays on. Her mother suspects that her daughter is still afraid of that ghost living in the closet, but the little girl, trying to look tough, lies and says she isn't afraid of any ghost. The mother explains that all of this is a big change in their lives because of a research project involving doctor stuff, but without revealing exactly what it is. And so her daughter won't be afraid of the dark. She hands her a small mallet, just like the one used by Harley Quinn from a TV show. And this little toy mallet will take on a very different meaning shortly.
Harley never believed that toy would work against ghosts, but her mother plays along and pretends it does. She leaves her daughter alone and turns off the light. However, later on, the closet opens on its own. In the darkness, Harley asks the ghost to stay back, squeezes her eyes shut in terror, and repeats to herself that ghosts aren't real. And this is exactly where we jump to the present.
In the present, Batman is on a mission, and Harley is with him. The two face off against police officers in the middle of the street. The leader of the Red Hood Gang uses a powerful mallet, charged with electricity, to increase her strength. Harley knows exactly where Batman is headed, and wants to convince him to give up on the idea. The guards even advise Batman to take that path, but the guard ends up knocked out by Harley herself. The problem is that right after, Batman himself attacks the poor girl. Tired of talking, he shoves her into a corner so they can both hide from the Robin's patrol. Jason is nearby with his giant mech. Robin too refuses to return to base, certain that Batman is close. For now, Batman and Harley manage to give Jason the slip, but the problem is that Harley really wants to tell Batman her story. She starts by saying her mother was a neurologist, and once again, Batman tries to ignore her by activating the silence module in his cowl, a module that, ironically, Harley installed herself, which is why she knows how to bypass it. Finally realizing he has no other choice, Batman decides to listen to her, but that doesn't mean he's going to stop until he reaches his goal. He even starts using the city tunnels that were mapped by the Red Hood Gang, all to reach an objective that remains unrevealed at this point. And right here is where Harley's flashback returns in full force. It's revealed that her mother was a neuroscientist who worked alongside the Joker, helping to develop special drugs. In the beginning, everything seemed great, but something changed in her. When Harley Quinn was 4 years old, her mother decided to expose the Joker, and that's why the two of them moved to Gotham. The mother seemed increasingly obsessed with catching the Joker and exposing his life, an obsession that would cost her much more than she imagined. At the time, Harley's mother was already divorced from her father, and the girl wanted to know more about this dad, so she requested a DNA test to find out who he was. And here comes the important detail. Her father was also a doctor, lived in France, and never knew Harley's mother was pregnant. That's how she started writing letters to him. And even as she gets older, Harley remains terrified of the closet, always keeping it shut. Back in the present, she continues her research on someone named Jack Grimm and grows increasingly worried. Even her father knew Grimm was very dangerous, just like the tunnels Batman is heading into right now. Still, he insists on going through, and if they aren't careful, the two will run into several police officers along the way. And in fact, Batman has to interrupt the conversation to defeat some cops passing by. Without a second thought, Harley jumps into action and helps take down the guards. But she is also worried about the Robins, who always show up when the two of them are on the streets. She is certain they are monitoring police communications, and indeed they are. Jason already knows Batman is in the tunnels and alerts the rest of the team, who immediately head there on motorcycles. Back to the flashback. When Harley turned 13, her mother was completely obsessed with exposing Grimm. She was barely ever home, but that didn't even bother the girl. In truth, she just wanted to get out of there, hoping her dad would show up one day and take her away. And finally, that promise of him appearing comes true. It's on this exact day that Harley decides, at last, to see what's inside the closet, armed with her little toy mallet.
In the present, the duo reaches a part of the tunnel with a very narrow entrance, which is no problem for the leader of the Red Hood gang. There are some access points the gang is hidden, and this small entrance actually conceals a much larger one. The two enter an unmapped section of the tunnel, with the Robins close behind. This area is pitch black and requires light. To solve this, Jason arrives with his giant mech and simply destroys part of the structure. Dick doesn't like this approach at all, and the tension between the two becomes glaringly obvious.
In the flashback, Harley Quinn explains that inside the closet, there was a computer screen asking for a password, which of course was no problem for a master hacker like Harley. While the heroes hide in the present, the young woman continues telling the story. As soon as she types in the password, a secret passage opens up, revealing an elevator with a very long descent. Harley goes looking for her mother and arrives at a place that looks like a prison laboratory. And yes, this place is Arkham. She walks past several cells where you can see Batman villains, like Tweedledum and Tweedledee, and is completely shocked by the terrifying sight.
There is even an old man there, clearly the Absolute Calendar Man. His skin splits open like dead skin, and from inside emerges a renewed man. All young Harley can do is scream until someone grabs her by the shoulder. It's her own mother, wearing a red and black lab coat that heavily resembles Harley Quinn's look. Her mother explains that she was wrong about Jack Grimm, that he, in fact, only wanted to help people, and that they are developing unimaginable cures down there. Harley says they need to get out of there immediately, but her mother replies that there's no way. Arkh-M is her home now, and she wants to show all of it to her daughter. Harley runs away, and in a voiceover, she mentions that the woman was no longer her mother. She was Dr. Arkham. And this is where it hits you. That Dr. Arkham we had already seen in the Bane saga is Harley Quinn's mother. And based on the outfit she's wearing there, she is the actual Absolute Harley Quinn. We've been calling Harley Harley Quinn purely out of convenience, but technically, she isn't the Harley Quinn of this universe. It's her mother. But hold on, because there's even more plot. The daughter runs to the elevator and never goes back. In the present, the Robins hit a dead end, but since the wall sounds hollow, they suspect something is behind it. Dick warns that it's time to head back to base, and once again, Jason wants to disobey. After a lot of arguing, he yields, and the team returns to base. With the Robins out of the way, Batman comes out of hiding and continues through the tunnels, and Harley knows exactly what he intends to do, and doesn't want to allow it, especially because of the Scarecrow, because what comes next could cost them dearly. She reveals that she has been checking the intel about the Scarecrow manipulating Batman's entire life. Harley is tuned into this story, but she can't confirm whether it's true or false.
The only thing she has actually confirmed is that Martha, in the past, belonged to the Court of Owls. And to Harley, this is how the Scarecrow always operates. He takes a small sliver of truth, and on top of that, builds a massive manipulation, mixing facts with fiction. And this is exactly what is about to happen to Batman.
Batman says he already knows this, and that's exactly why he's going to prove what the truth is tonight. But his partner argues that he is being manipulated, and that this could cost someone else their life. She decides to stop Batman with her fists, trying to explain just how dangerous the Scarecrow is, capable of manipulating not just reality, but entire documents. However, Batman isn't having it. He throws the girl aside, even breaking her mallet, and that's enough to make her give up. Batman proceeds alone. If you're a fan of this universe and still don't have the Absolute Batman issues on your shelf, now is the time. The complete saga is available through our Amazon storefront, with a direct link in the description and pinned comment. With this pace of revelations in every issue, there's never been a better time to collect and follow everything closely. Also, check out our YouTube shopping showcase down below, where we've selected the best Batman collectibles with exclusive prices for the channel. The hero exits the tunnels and finally reaches his grand objective, a cemetery where his own father's gravestone lies. He takes off his mask and begins to dig up Thomas Wayne's grave. Meanwhile, we cut back to Harley, who informs Alfred that Batman's partnership with the Red Hood gang is over. She will no longer work alongside that maniac. Irritated, she finishes telling her own story, but now alone. Back to the flashback. Upon leaving the elevator, and consequently the closet, the girl hears a voice coming from outside. It's her dad's voice. He really did show up that day. She runs to the door, opens it, and is in for a shock. It was Jack Grimm. This is the most painful and terrifying truth of all. Jack Grimm was Harley's father. She can't believe it, and even thinks that maybe Jack Grimm did something to her real father. In that moment, another person appears. Identity unrevealed, but apparently it's Harley's own mother, saying she works alongside Jack Grimm, and that they are back. Harley runs far away from that house. Back in the present, Batman finishes digging and finally pulls his father's coffin out of the hole. He opens it and gets another shock. There was no body in there. Absolutely nothing. And right at that moment, his phone rings. The Scarecrow left a video message. And this is where the bomb truly drops. Thomas Wayne is alive, kept prisoner for several years. His father is ashamed to have his own son see him like that, and the call ends. Bruce screams, saying that it can't be true.
At the end of the issue, we see Harley walking down the street, repeating the same words she used as a child. Even if that is true, it's not true. And that is how issue 22 ends. Look, I warned you, this was a massive issue. Many revelations. Not only on Batman's side, with this whole story about Thomas Wayne being alive, but also on Harley Quinn's side. Apparently, in this universe, the Joker really did have a child with Harley Quinn. Of course, if all of this is actually true, just like the Thomas Wayne issue itself. We saw a guy there who looks like an elderly man, which could very well be Thomas Wayne, but it could also just be another piece of the Scarecrow's grand manipulation. We can't guarantee anything yet. Regardless, it was a very good ending. I really loved this issue. It was the best of the saga so far. Now we wait for the next one, the August issue. There's still a long way to go, but we are already getting close to the end of this Scarecrow saga.
That was the complete recap of Absolute Batman issue 22. Now I want to hear your opinions. What did you think of all these revelations? Comment down below, because this discussion is going to go far. And so you don't miss any news about Absolute Batman and the entire Bat universe, subscribe here to Comic Chronicles and turn on the bell. We cover every detail of this saga right here. See you next time.